Do you love TV shows? We do too. Hello everyone, I'm Jeff.
And I'm Anna, and we're the hosts of We Judge a Show by Its Pilot, a podcast hosted by us, a married couple with an endless love for TV.
Whether you're searching for a new favorite series or ready to revisit an old classic, we're here to guide you through an infinite world of TV shows.
Each episode, we watch and discuss the pilot for shows, while also sharing personal stories that parallel the storyline.
So if you're tired of endlessly scrolling and not sure what to watch next, tune in and let us do the searching for you.
We Judge a Show by Its Pilot. New episodes every Tuesday and Friday, wherever you get your podcasts.
Your new favorite show is just one click away. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to our pod.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning. We are recording pretty, well, I would say fairly earlier than what we normally record.
Yeah, well, we've both been sleeping in a little bit lately these days.
A little bit,
It's
yeah.
been bad.
I've been really sleeping in. Yeah, I think I don't know what day. See, I don't even remember what day it was. I just woke up and it was just casually like 11:15 in the morning.
Yeah. Oh, I think I was at my ortho appointment. It was
Sunday
Monday.
Night, yeah, because Sunday night I work all day and I work pretty much from Friday to Sunday. I work a lot and it's a lot of waking up early, and then Sunday I work from open to close. So Monday is kind of my day to sleep, but usually I wake up like at least at like 9 or 9:30, but yeah, I slept until like almost 11:30 last because you were gone. Usually, like I'll kind of hear you doing something or talking on the phone or doing something
in the house. Yeah,
right. So then I'm like, okay, let me get up and go do something. But when this house is quiet, oh yeah, I'm sleeping.
And you had worked super late Thursday because there were hoods.
I forgot about that
being cleaned in the kitchen. So
there.
You semi-volunteered to stay late, and
oh no, I volunteer because I get that cashish. So,
and so you didn't get home until like 2, and then you were wired, and you were up until 5, so you really didn't sleep Thursday night to Friday.
No, I didn't.
So your body was just in like confusion,
right.
I think.
And then by the time we had some people over for 4th of July, had a great time, had a really great time, got in the pool. I love it when we get to utilize the pool and people get to come over and have fun and jam out to some music, grilled some food, and had a pretty good 4th of July.
Yeah.
I would say, but by the time everyone left and by the time we got into bed, I was still wired. Like I was still, because we had been, and I also didn't really drink that much, so I wasn't like sleepy from that, because usually alcohol will make me sleepy. But yeah, so we are continuing UK month, and we are doing a show today that neither one of us had ever seen.
No.
I'd heard of it. I'm sure you'd probably heard of it.
I might have,
to a
but
certain extent.
I don't think it wasn't in my.
Our friend Summer watches this show, and I think I've only heard her talk about it. I think I've only heard it being discussed through her. I thought this entire time Called the Midwife was a reality show.
Oh.
About midwives.
And you never know these days.
I didn't know. Well, I mean, they exist. I mean, they exist. They're called different things
now.
No,
I'm talking about it could have been a reality show.
Oh, yeah. I'm just saying, like, I'm surprised that it wasn't. But yeah, I think I finally like looked it up. I'm like, oh, it's not a reality show. I'm like, oh, okay, that makes a little bit more sense. But yeah, I enjoyed the pilot. We'll get into that once we do the episode and series information. We're also going to be making. We're not going to talk about it on this episode, but we are making some changes to our podcast.
Yeah.
But we will be talking about that. We're not going anywhere. We're not ending the podcast, but we are making some changes, and I think we will probably talk about that in one of our future episodes sometime this month. But just a heads up, I'm going to tell you right now. But yeah, so we are going to go ahead and give you some episode and series information, and then we're going to have some conversations.
All right. Call the Midwife, episode 1. Call the Midwife is a British period drama that premiered on the UK's BBC One on January 15th, 2012, and on the US's PBS on September 30th, 2012. The show's 14th season recently ended in March of 2025, with a 15th season greenlit and most likely premiering in January 2026. The series currently has 123 episodes. The show was created by Heidi Thomas, best known for being a writer and executive producer for one of the UK's most popular shows, Upstairs Downstairs, also known as the original Downton Abbey.
Yeah, it's like the same exact. It's like the same exact plot.
Yeah, it's the whole. That's the whole Upstairs Downstairs. Yeah, and the series is based on the memoir of the same name, written by Jennifer Worth. Call the Midwife begins in 1957 and initially centers around newly qualified midwife Ginny Lee as she navigates her first job as a midwife in the East End of London while experiencing major culture shock at the living conditions that she and her patients live in. The series begins in 1957 and spans through 1970. Each season revolves around certain major events in medical history. Season 1 takes place during the baby boom and shows its effect on the economy while also discussing poverty and post-war immigration. Season 1 cast of Call the Midwife includes Jessica Raine as Nurse Jenny Lee, Miranda Hart as Nurse Camilla Chummy Brown, Helen George as Nurse Beatrix Trixie Alward, Jenny Agutter as Sister Julianne, the head midwife, Judy Parfit as Sister Monica Joan, a retired midwife, Pam Ferris as Sister Evangelina, Brianne Hanna as Sister Mary Cynthia, and Laura Main as Sister Bernadette, who are all nun midwives. Stephen McGann as Dr. Patrick Turner, the general practitioner to the midwives. Cliff Parisi as Fred Buckle, the handyman for the Nonatus house where the midwives live. Ben Kaplan as Police Sergeant Peter Noakes, and Dame Vanessa Redgrave, who serves as the series narrator. Call the Midwife was an immediate success with both critics and audiences for its interesting characters, compelling storylines, and accurate description of life during that era. Although the series continues to be praised and has solid ratings, it always seems to get passed during award season, giving it a more cult status, and is considered to be a highly underrated series. You can currently watch the first 13 season on Netflix, and the most recent you can buy or rent on streaming platforms like Prime Video, YouTube, Apple TV, or Fandango at home.
Yeah, so probably the 14th season will probably come up on Netflix whenever the 15th season starts airing. That's usually how it goes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because they want people to get hyped about it.
I'm pretty sure. I don't know if that's still how it goes. I don't really keep up with that type of stuff anymore. Yeah, usually there's so many streaming platforms now. I think at one point we were all relying on Netflix and Hulu, and then now we have so many other streaming platforms that, like, whenever a season ends, we're just like, oh, it ended. Oh, it got added to Netflix. We're like, all right, let's watch it.
Yeah.
All right, so what did you think of the show? What did you think of the pilot?
I actually really liked it. Mm-hmm. I felt like, I love kind of historical things.
Yes,
and
I knew this was going to be an Anna.
Yeah.
Kind of just all of it.
And I really like how it delves into things that were happening of the era.
Yeah.
And I get, like, we talked about Downton Abbey already, and it took place, like, the pilot took place, after the sinking of the Titanic, and the ramifications of Downton and the Crawleys after that. Obviously, that's fictionalized, and I mean, who knows if that actually, like,
surrounded by a true story.
Correct.
Yeah, historical fiction, if you will.
I feel like this show showed really stuff that was probably happening.
Oh yeah.
I mean, and I feel like these were the living conditions of people, and this was how midwives were working and being trained and just sort of thrown out into the field. So I really liked it for that. I obviously, don't have a lot of medical background or knowledge.
Yeah.
No one in my family has a background in medicine or hospitals or, all of that. So I also really like seeing stuff like that because I have no experience in it.
Right.
And this episode did a lot when you will talk about the the pilot summary, I mean, there were just times where I was like, my vag hurts, it was just like, wow, I can't believe this is happening, or that they're going through this, or this is the way that they thought. And so that to me is always very thought-provoking in a pilot. It gets you thinking, and it makes you want to keep watching, which is strange because it's all about midwives. And, again, I've never been pregnant and I've never had a baby, but this just has always interested in this show, made me interested in that.
Yeah, same. Same being interested. I do have a mother that is a nurse, and she was a labor and delivery nurse. So I was shared many a story from my mother as a teenager, trying to scare the pants onto me, keeping my pants on. But yeah, I really liked it. I am always a little, and I've talked about this before, I'm always a little iffy I'm a little different than you when it comes to like period dramas and stuff like that. I'm not always a fan of it, although I feel like the older I get, the more I'm starting to like them. Maybe because I'm more interested in history now. Maybe I'm more interested in the way things were. The one thing I will say is we're both very hygienic, obviously, but like I'm a very hygienic. I wash my hands a lot.
All the time.
I work in a kitchen, so like I've always feel the need to like my hands to be clean. I can't tell you how many times I wanted to wash my hands while watching this episode.
Oh, yeah.
I was just like, because I just sat there, I'm just like, my hands feel dirty and I'm not doing anything.
I might have this show wrong, but wasn't she doing an examination without gloves at one point? Yeah,
yes.
That's where I was just like, oh.
I think during the first exam that she did, no one's wearing gloves.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I can't with y'all wearing, I mean, like, because antiseptic was invented by this point, so I'm just like, what are y'all doing? Put on gloves, like.
But I just wonder, I mean, and I'm sure they were probably there, I mean, in history, I mean, but like, they might not have had easy access.
The resources,
you go into your doctor's office today, and there's usually like 5 boxes of gloves in different sizes for all of the people that come in the room.
Yep.
So, but I just wonder in, that time period, were gloves a very luxurious thing to have as a medical professional. And these, to me, were not the rich people providing medical services.
This is East End of London. That's at least at this period of time.
Yeah.
I've never been to London, but at least at this period of time, that was like the impoverished. I can never say that word right. Very run down, very lower class, very poor. I never really considered the idea of the baby boom's effect on the economy. I never really thought about that before.
Oh, yeah.
And it makes sense. I mean, obviously it makes sense, but like in case y'all don't know, because maybe people don't know what the baby boom is, but there was a certain era post-war World War II I think specifically in the U.S. and the U.K., where there was just a huge influx of children being born because these people had been gone for so long, and they came home and they were like, let's make some babies. Both of my parents are baby boomers, and they are both one of 5 children, so it's just kind of like it is kind of when I'm like, well, yeah, I guess that makes sense. I guess, we're going to talk about a woman who has a shit ton of kids when we talk about this pilot, but I mean, like, I thought 5 was a lot.
Well, I know, and I was going to ask you that because we've talked a lot about our families, and so your parents were both one of 5, right? And then so my dad was one of 4, and my mom was one of 8. So, but again, I feel like your experience with your one of 5 and one of 5 parents was way different than mine,
right?
Because again, I did not grow up near any of my parents' siblings where you did.
I have a baby boomer family.
Yours, and then almost all of your aunts and uncles all had at least one kid, if not more.
Yeah.
So I mean, you have a lot of first cousins.
I have one aunt and uncle that had one kid, and then the rest it's at least 2 or 3.
Yeah, so your Aunt Mary is the only one who had one.
Oh no, wait, yeah, and Aunt Mary and Lynn. Yeah, Mark and Lynn are both only children.
Oh, that's true.
I forgot about
yes.
I forgot about Lynn.
Yeah.
Sorry, Lynn. I forgot about Lynn.
Yeah. And so, any cousins that are listening, don't out us. So it's hard for me to keep track.
Yeah.
But I'm less versed on your dad's side of the kids. I've met almost like all of the Jennings. Like cousins.
All my dad's side, it's all 2 kids.
Yeah,
it's all 2 kids.
Yeah. So that's a
my
lot
Uncle Jim, I kind of don't know. So I mean, like, he's not listening to this.
Yeah, but So you grew up in this like.
Very much so.
A lot of kids. Obviously not all one parent, but that was a shock to me seeing.
I think I have like 16
at
cousins,
least.
I think. At least, yeah.
Yeah, first cousins.
First cousins, yeah. I have at least, and then a lot of them all have kids now, and yeah, I come from a very big family, but I also come from a very, very big family that was at one point in time was very close. So I would geography and in relationships.
Oh yeah.
I mean, like I can say that like I'm friends with some of my cousins. I'm keep in touch with a lot of them. I mean, they're all great. I mean, like some of them I haven't talked to or seen in a long time, but I think if I saw them now, it would just kind of just be like, let's just pick up where we left off, kind of thing.
Go hang at the pool, grill some burgers.
But yeah, so I honestly didn't think about that until you pointed it out. I very much have a baby boomer family.
You do? Yeah. And I was thinking about that, not in the sense of like, it's just you and Sarah, but again, seeing all those kids and that one family that we'll talk about, I was just like, oh my God. But that was maybe like your life with cousins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how it felt at like on like 4th of July at my mama's house in Zachary. Like that's kind of how it felt at Christmas at my grandma's house on Warwick. All right. So kind of I don't know if it's a special announcement, but if you recall last summer when we were recording, Anna had surgery.
Yep.
And you just hit your 1 year.
Yep. July 5th was my 1 year.
God, that was when you had your surgery?
It was the day after 4th of July. We had a 4th of July party because I wasn't going to be able to get into the pool the rest of the season.
That's true.
I couldn't get my stitches wet or my incision wet for at least 3 months, and so by then it was going to be like September, and that's when the pool starts getting too cold.
Gotcha.
By like October.
Yeah.
And so July 5th was my 1 year. I just had my 1 year orthopedic follow-up. That's the day you slept in till 11. I was at the doctor's office and I had not heard from you. And I was like, oh my gosh, is he still sleeping? And I actually think I was finished, and
you were already picking us up Chick-fil-A. Like you were done. And luckily I woke up in time to tell you, yes, I want Chick-fil-A. This is what I want.
Yes.
This is what I want to drink.
So I had my 1 year appointment, and I can't see it, obviously. I mean, I guess I could if I like bent backwards or had you take a picture.
Take a picture of it. Yeah.
But she says that my incision scar looks pretty amazing, that I have good range of motion with my ankle, and that I have healed well. And it's always funny to me when a doctor will put like pressure on an incision or like press something and be like, does that hurt? And I'm like, define hurt.
Right.
I'm like,
yeah,
I can feel it.
Yeah.
Like, so there's pressure, but it doesn't hurt. But I'm like, what are you defining as hurt? And so, I mean, I think I don't want to use the word, tender exactly, but I'm still very sensitive to it.
Yeah.
Like I'm always watching the shower door, which, the corner of the shower door when you come out, and sometimes it bounces and you're like, ah.
I think it's caught my ankle a couple times.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so I am just always very cautious about things like that, especially if I'm at a school moving tables around or something. So, but it's healed up nicely, and I'm going to try to start walking, mostly because we have a pretty big vacation coming up that will require a lot of walking.
Oh, yeah.
So as soon as I get some more of these work boxes out, I'm pulling out the treadmill, the the living room is kind of filled with boxes and promo items right now. So
as is tradition.
I know that sounds like an excuse that I haven't pulled the treadmill out, but literally, like, if I pull the treadmill out, like, there's no space.
Yeah.
So
I can confirm that.
Yes. So the treadmill's coming out. And even if I walk just like half a mile or a mile a day for the next few weeks, I would be very happy about that. My goal is to be walking at least like 3 to 3.5 miles, a 5K.
Yeah.
By the time we go to Europe at a nice pace. I am.
Wow. Way to drop to everyone that we're going to Europe.
Oh,
on the pod.
yeah. Sorry. But I had been doing, so this surgery actually is on the same leg that I also had meniscus surgery. So
Right.
I had meniscus surgery in 2017 when you were first moved in here. So this leg has taken a beating on walking and running and jogging. So I have given up the jogging and the running. I am completely fine as a walker. And so that is my goal, is just to start the walking again and just getting back into some sort of semblance of shape and exercise on a regular basis. So that is my 1 year post journey.
I'm just never going to forget when we were first recording the pod and you had your injury and it was so hot in this house, as it always is during the summer. Actually, I'm really liking us recording in the morning because it still feels good in the house right now.
And it was cloudy and rainy last night, so the house is kind of cool.
This is why the chair is no longer here, but we kept the chair at the end of the table so you can prop your leg up. It's no longer here, which kind of weird not having the chair here, but it was in the way of a walkway, so I moved it. I think we moved it when we had people over for 4th of July.
Yeah, and I mean, that's a really, like, you saying that to me just triggered like some memories and kind of taking care of myself post surgery, because I read a lot of things on the news and random stuff pops up and it gets me thinking back to my own recovery. I just recently read about this New Orleans police officer who went for, I don't know exactly what it's called. It's like the BBL, where you get the butt lift. It's the big, beautiful butt or something lift. And she didn't tell her family that she had done it. And she apparently developed blood clots and she died.
My God.
And so it really made me start thinking about the care of yourself and having someone who is knowledgeable and helpful with post-surgery recovery, because I'm not going to lie, not only did I have the splint on my leg that I could not remove, could not get wet, which, let me tell you, my foot and leg were pretty ripe after, the first 3 weeks before my post-op, but I also had to keep a compression sock on my left leg.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, those things, after a little while, I've used compression socks for when I used to jog, when I did 10Ks and halves. Those things become very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But I knew I had to keep it on. And reading stories, unfortunately, about that police officer, rest in peace, I know she wanted to do that. And, again, everybody wants different surgeries and to feel beautiful. So it's sad that she didn't have a lot of care and people watching out, that she had to keep it a secret. But it makes me wonder, like, did she not take care of herself?
Yeah.
Did she not use, because a
lot of people don't.
A lot of people will skip that. And I can't tell you, I did. You made sure that they were washed. At least we could wash those. I had 2 of them that we would switch out. And that was the thing that my doctor, even early on, was like, your recovery is amazing. And I'm like, I had so many people helping me.
Yeah.
Not just you, but friends who would come over, people who sent food, people who sent DoorDash money.
Oh, yeah. That DoorDash money really helped you out.
Yes. I mean, I'll never forget. That was when we also discovered Walmart delivery.
Oh, yeah.
Walmart, please sponsor us. I mean, I'll never forget I pulled up to the door in my knee scooter and the lady at Walmart saw me and she goes, do you need me to bring these in? And I was like, oh my gosh, like, please. I'm sure they are not allowed into a house, obviously for safety reasons, but she could tell I could not attack her.
Right.
I was like on a knee scooter, and I just remember like going back and adding an extra tip for her, you know, and it was little things like that that just made the difference in my recovery. My job and my boss and work were also, and my customers were also very, very understanding. And so all of that to me is what I attributed to my recovery. And I know a lot of people aren't as fortunate. They have to go back to work or they have to find a way to drive. And luckily I had you, I had our friends, I had our family that all pitched in and helped, and I give everyone the credit.
Well, I think a lot of that is people. I mean, I will just kind of be sweet to you for a second, but you are such a good friend. You are such a great person. You do so much for everyone. It was really nice to see kind of everyone return the favor. I mean, it was because you are just a very giving, very selfless, very giving person. You really go out of your way to help people out, and that, I mean, like, that could just kind of shows like how much everyone loves you. It's just, and how good of a friend you are, how great of a friend you are, because everyone was, I mean, without question, everyone just helped you out and was there for you. And it was very, very, I was very, like, it made me feel very proud to be your husband. So, because I was just like, everyone is just at the drop of a hat. We're like, I got your back. So,
I mean, seriously, like, I could not. I mean, I had that splint on for like 3 months. I mean, I couldn't like walk for 3 months or put any weight on it, and then driving, even I had to wait until PT when I could show a certain range of motion, and then they were like, okay. And so I will have to say, I really, really tried to practice patience, which is very hard for me, but I knew I wanted to come out of it in the time frame that I saw, and I didn't want to set myself back.
Right.
And that to me was a big goal. And so everyone helped with that, because I don't think I could have made it through without everyone, but thank you, everyone.
Oh,
so
1 year. It's
1
crazy
year.
that it was.
It went by so fast, because you know, early on when we were doing this, you know, like I said, I literally wasn't leaving the house. So I was doing work from home. I was doing classes from home. So we had literally like almost just tons of time. I mean, we had nothing but time here at the house. In fact, I don't know if I ever told you this, like, one of the first times that I went out to actually check the mail, it might have been like 3 months. Like, I didn't go out to check the mail even. You did it. Mostly because I was terrified of like hitting a pebble or something on that damn knee scooter. I remember Shannon and Eddie across the street were outside, you know, gardening, and Shannon was like, I haven't seen you in forever. And I was like, you know, I had my walking boot or whatever on, and she was just like, what happened? And I was like, I had Achilles surgery. I haven't been able to like walk for 3 months. And she's funny. Like, oh my God. And so it was funny that I was that good that like my neighbors directly across the street had not even seen me for almost 3 months. Like I did not leave this house unless it was absolutely necessary.
Yeah. You left when we went to Pensacola
to get my disabled placard. And then Alicia and Summer took me out once. My sister took me out once. And those 2 times to go and eat out, I was spent. And I was also terrified of being on my knee scooter in a parking lot. I was like, these things are death traps with cracks and, you know, every pebbles. I was like, I'm not leaving. I was like, I'm done. It was really, I was so terrified of being set back. I was like, it wasn't worth it to me. Yeah. I was like, I'm fine being bored in the house to recover.
Bored in the house and I'm bored, whatever that TikTok was. All right, let's get into this plot summary.
All right, let's do it.
It's 3.5 pages, but I added 2 paragraphs for a little fun fact.
Okay.
Because since this does revolve around some historical events, even though this is a memoir, but this is fiction. But yeah, there's a little bit of fun facts that I'll be throwing in there. All right, Call the Midwife plot summary. Young nurse and recently qualified midwife Jenny Lee arrives in Poplar, London in 1957. On her way, Jenny encounters two women fighting in the street over a husband's affair. A crowd has gathered around them, egging them on, and Jenny watches silently until police constable Peter Noakes breaks up the fight. As Jenny walks away, Sister Evangelina arrives and takes one of the fighters, Pearl Winston, inside for her examination. So yeah, she's pregnant. You find out that both the women are pregnant that are fighting. When Jenny arrives at Nonatu's house, she is greeted by Sister Monica Joan, who explains to Jenny that the Sisters of Saint Raymond Nonatus, is it Nonatus? Yeah. Nonatus are an order of nurses and midwives, interspersed with wistful comments about astrology and flowers in the hall. She brings Jenny into the kitchen and feeds her a cake hidden inside a pot. The other nuns and midwives, Sister Julianne, Sister Evangelina, Cynthia Miller, and Beatrix Trixie Franklin arrive back from clinic. Sister Evangelina instantly discovers that the cake is missing and confronts Sister Monica Joan about its absence, and Jenny tries to discreetly hide any evidence of her having eaten the cake. Jenny arrives at the home of her first patient, Conchita Warren. Maureen, the Warren's eldest child, calls over her mother, who welcomes Jenny to her home in Spanish. Sorry, it's early and I'm trying to read. Jenny confesses that she does not know Spanish, but Maureen assures her that Conchita knows the drill. During the examination, Maureen acts as a translator for her mother, and Jenny discovers that Conchita has had 22 pregnancies and 24 children.
This is when I discovered my vag hurt.
This is when my vag hurt, and I don't even have one. Conchita's husband, Len, arrives home and calls Maureen to help with her siblings. Jenny tries nervously to advise the couple as she has been instructed, but he assures her that they do not need any additional assistance. So it got me thinking, who is the woman who has had the most children ever? That's what got me thinking. So I looked it up, and that wasn't me asking you.
I was like, I don't know.
Quick, tell me. So even though this is recorded, medical records didn't exist at this point in time. This woman, the woman who is recorded as having given birth to the most children in history, is Valentina Vasilieva, the first wife of Russian peasant Fyodor Vasiliev. Women have the A at the end. Gotcha, yeah. Vasiliev. She is believed to have given birth to 69 children between 1725 and 1765. Her 27 pregnancies resulted in 16 sets of twins, 7 sets of triplets, and 4 sets of quadruplets.
Oh my God.
So this is more of just like word of mouth. Legend. Word of mouth. This isn't, it says recorded, but not completely proven, as medical records didn't exist back then. So we're kind of just going off of the word of mouth, I guess, or I guess urban legend, you would say. So the woman who is recorded to having given birth, and this is like a woman who, this is the woman that's had the most children, and it is like legit because it was in this century. The woman who has recorded as giving birth to the most children, and it's legit on record, is Miriam Nabatanzi from Uganda. She gave birth to 44 children, 43 of which survived by the age of 36. This included 3 sets of quadruplets, 4 sets of triplets, and 6 sets of twins, due to a rare condition called hyperovulation. In 2019, at the age of 40, she underwent a medical procedure to prevent any further pregnancies. As of April 4th, 2023, she has had a total of 38 surviving children, and she lost 6.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
And that's what I think I was talking about, the conditions back on Call the Midwife, but obviously in some of these places, like a Russian peasant, I'm going to sadly maybe assume that in Uganda they just did not have the education or the means of, at least, I don't want to say preventing pregnancy, but regulating the amount of pregnancies. Right. I mean, I don't, if she had like 44 children. I know there were quite a few sets of multiples. So let's say 30 pregnancies. That's 30 times 10, 300 months she was pregnant in her life.
Yeah.
I mean, I just don't know how babies just don't start falling out of you.
Right.
Like, I mean, and I mean that literally.
Yeah.
Like, wow. Okay, sorry.
No, you're good. When they arrive at Muriel's home, her mother greets them and informs them about... Sorry. When they arrive at Muriel's home, her mother greets them and informs them about her status. Sorry. Inside the house, Muriel's husband and 3 women are waiting downstairs. Sister Evangelina examines Muriel, and the nurses give her an enema, even though Muriel complains that it is undignified. Jenny continues coming to terms with the compromises that mothers in the East End make in their homes, and Sister Evangelina expresses her frustration with Jenny's hesitations, but Muriel reassures her. When Muriel begins to push, Sister Evangelina, this is when I wanted to wash my hands 500 times because they're not wearing gloves and there's just a lot of elements involved, and a
lot of people in the room that are unsanitized, probably.
When Muriel begins to push, Sister Evangelina lets Jenny take over directing the labor. Jenny congratulates Muriel on the birth of her son, but suddenly the fireplace begins spewing soot. Sister Evangelina dashes to cover the baby with a towel before the room fills with soot and covers all the women. Thankfully, Sister Evangelina covered the baby in time, and he is perfectly clean and has already fallen asleep. Yeah, this is just a whole different generation of kids that had to grow up in these conditions that were probably just a lot tougher than the kids are today, and myself included. That evening, Cynthia, Trixie, and Jenny sit in the kitchen and discuss how it felt to arrive in the East End for the first time. They inform Jenny that, though it was shocking to them, Sister Evangelina grew up very poor and does not react to the dismal conditions. The handyman Fred arrives and asks Jenny if she likes toffee apples. Though Jenny is confused, Cynthia and Trixie find Fred's new attempt at a business venture amusing. Jenny visits Conchita again at tea time. Jenny sits and eats with them before examining Conchita. Yeah, that was the scene where they're all just eating out of the same giant bowl of soup. Yeah.
That was sad as well. You know, I mean, again, it is what it is, and I feel like it was very probably true of what families did was soup goes a long way, and you just all ate out of that big pot. Yep. So
while Jenny is checking Conchita for preeclampsia, she asks Lynn if he could persuade Conchita to rest more often, as her constant work may be the cause of her swollen ankles. Lynn reveals that he does not speak Spanish and that he feels that there has never been a need, as he and Conchita understand one another. On a very smoggy day, Conchita falls while hanging her laundry outside and lays on the ground for a significant period of time. She wakes to her baby crying and begins crawling on the ground before she falls again. Maureen discovers her outside and calls for help. Both on call, Jenny asks Trixie if she found it difficult when she first arrived. She responds that she did, but she came to realize that the mothers they serve are the brave ones for bearing the difficult conditions, and that she is just there to help them. She reassures Jenny and invites her out to dance with her and Cynthia. She then prods Jenny about her love life before Jenny is called out to the Warrens. Because of the fall, Jenny has gone into labor prematurely. Jenny, Sister Julienne, and Trixie prepare to depart. Sister Julienne prepares Jenny that the baby will likely be stillborn. Trixie expresses that she should accompany Jenny, but Sister Julienne has a complex case that requires Trixie's help more urgently. Constable Noakes guides Jenny through the smog to the Warrens' house. When she arrives, Conchita is agitated and screaming wildly. Yeah, this scene stressed me the hell out.
Oh my gosh.
Lynn is very concerned because Conchita has never behaved this way during labor before. Maureen dashes upstairs to try and console her mother. Conchita's concussion prevents her from understanding what is happening, and she thrashes wildly. The baby is born quickly, but he is blue and does not cry. Jenny shakes her head negatively to Lynn and sends Maureen back downstairs. Jenny brings the baby over to the dresser in a bowl and begins tending to her instruments. Lynn calls her over because Conchita has gone limp from blood loss. While she is tending to Conchita, the baby raises its arm and lets out a weak cry. Not gonna lie, that scene made me tear up.
Oh my gosh. I was like, oh, because it was not looking good.
Jenny rushes over to wrap the baby before handing him to Conchita. Conchita begins bleeding more heavily, but the but the obstetric flying squad finally arrives, as well as Dr. Turner, the local general practitioner. The paramedics attempt to bring the baby to the hospital, but Conchita refuses. Jenny and Sister Julianne visit the Warrens to check up on Conchita and the baby. They witness the couple feeding him milk with an icing rod and inform them that they have no experience for caring for such premature babies. Before the institution of the national health, such premature babies would not have survived, and now they are cared for in hospitals. Sister Julianne and Jenny are arranged for the Warrens to be visited 3 times a day for the first 6 weeks, then daily for as long as is required to best ensure the baby's health and chances of survival. Jenny goes to visit Pearl Winston. Despite the penicillin injections, Pearl unfortunately miscarried. So I kind of skipped this. Pearl was the woman at the beginning that got to the fight, and she's having a baby, and when Jenny goes to do an examination, she has some like growth. I think it's
sores.
I think it's syphilis.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was. She had open sores and it was smelling.
Yeah. Despite the penicillin injections, Pearl unfortunately miscarried. Pearl begins making Jenny a cup of tea and jokes to Jenny that she must think that they are all slatterns, which is dirty, untidy women. They're just a slang term. Jenny repeats what Trixie told her and tells Pearl that she thinks they are all heroines. Pearl smiles and turns up the upbeat song on her radio. Conchita dances to the same song with her new son in the garden. They are both happy and healthy. End of episode. So yeah, really great episode. A little stressful.
Yeah.
A little intense. I will say a very intense, but I really liked it. I definitely would keep watching. I know 123 episodes seems like a lot, but it's 14 seasons.
Yeah.
So the fact that there's only that many for so many seasons is actually like...
Yeah, it's like 10 or
less
so.
than that. Yeah, it's like 6 to 8 episodes a season. That's how the UK does it. I love it. So yeah, I think what this is on... I know you said what
so many of them.
Yeah. It is on Prime. No, it's on Netflix. Sorry, it's on Netflix. It's on Netflix. Yeah, I recommend it. I really enjoyed it. I know Anna really enjoyed it. Yeah, so you think that wraps this one up?
Yeah.
All right, that wraps up this episode. Thanks for tuning in. If you haven't already, go ahead and follow us on whichever platform you're listening to this podcast on. That way you'll be notified every time we publish a new episode. You can follow us on Instagram at WeJudgePilotPod. We're also on Facebook. You can leave us a comment, suggest a show for us to watch, or leave some emojis in the comments. What you got?
All right. I have a few. Of course, the UK flag, per usual.
Per usual.
The phone, the pregnant lady, the baby, a nurse, blood, the police, the church to represent, like, the convent. Soup, because of that whole soup scene with the spoon. Apples, tea, clouds, and rain. The head injury emoji, the one that has, like, the little gauze band around his head.
That's a good one.
Laundry basket, milk, and ice for the little milk rod. The syringe and the radio and music notes. And finally, the dance emoji for Conchita and her baby. All right. Well, we are going to head out, but we'll talk to you soon. Thanks for listening.